Hello students, today I am here with so many visceras of the abdomen, and you know in the abdomen there are so many important visceras are there, and I am here with a few of them, but I will today discuss only one viscera, and that is the stomach. And I told you every time whenever you are asked to hold a viscera or a bone, whatever may be, first of all, you are asked to hold the viscera or the bone in anatomical position. And secondly, the next question will come to you, what are the parts of this viscera? So before coming into the examination hall, during practical and viva examination, you must know these two basic things, the anatomical position and the different parts of this particular viscera. So if I start with one of the largest viscera of the GI tract, that is stomach. So before holding it, we must know the different presenting parts, because if I don't know which one is anterior, which one is posterior, lateral, medial, upper, lower, we cannot hold the viscera in anatomical position. So to know this, the different parts, let us see what are the parts. Here is one opening is there. One opening, I am showing you this opening. Can you see this opening? And another opening is here, which is tied by this string. Another opening is there. There are two openings. And one of them is a cardiac opening close to the esophagus. And this part is the terminal part of the esophagus, the small part, this one. And this distal part, which is thicker, if I feel this, it is thicker one in compared to this part. And this part, the thicker part, is the pyloric part or pyloric end. This pyloric end will be directed downwards, because the esophagus ends in the stomach, then stomach ends in the pylorus, then from pylorus duodenum will start. And there are two borders, the smaller border and this is the larger border, this one on this side, this one, larger border. So the smaller border is called the lesser curvature. It is curved in nature, so lesser curvature, and obviously this should be greater curvature, and this lesser curvature will be on the right side, also called right border, and this greater curvature also called left border. So then, if I hold it in anatomical position, we must consider the upper end or cardiac end and the pyloric end. It is upwards, it is downwards, number one. Number two, the lesser curvature or the smaller curvature or the right border will be directed towards the right side. This is my right side, and this one will be left side. So obviously this surface will be anterior-superior surface. It is not directly anterior, neither superior, it is in between, anterior-superior, this one. And this one should be the posterior-inferior surface. So by my palm of the left hand, I will keep the posterior-inferior surface on my left palm. And of these two borders, this border it is deeply placed, and this border it is superficially placed. So this border will be close to me, and this border will be away from me. And if I hold this viscera, so that if I draw a midline, this opening, that is esophageal opening, that will be left to the midline. How much left? About 2.5 centimeter left to the midline, this one, this distance from the midline. But this pyloric end will be about 1.25 centimeter right to the midline. Now, this is the anatomical position. What is the location of the stomach? You know, topographically, abdomen is divided into 9 quadrants. It is located in the left hypochondrium then epigastrium and umbilical region. This is the location or situation of the stomach. Next point, what are the parts of this viscera? Mainly there are three parts. This fundic part or fundus, the larger part is the body, and the terminal part is the pylorus, this region. So how much is the fundus? This is esophagus, this terminal part of esophagus which enters into the stomach here. So here is one orifice inside. That orifice is called the cardiac orifice of the stomach. Where the esophagus enters into the stomach, that region of the stomach also called cardiac region. So this is cardiac orifice. And where this is the left margin of the esophagus and this is right margin of the esophagus. This one, right margin, this is left margin. Where the left margin ends, this curvature starts. And this curvature is ascend upwards and to the left, then turning downwards and form the greater curvature. So here is this point. Can you see the angle formed by the left margin of the esophagus and the beginning of the greater curvature? There is the angle. This angle is called cardiac notch. This one, cardiac notch. So if I draw a line from the cardiac notch horizontally towards the greater curvature, that this line from the cardiac notch to greater curvature. So the part above this line, imaginary line of course, this is called fundus of the stomach. And below that is the larger part is the body. And after body, pylorus starts. But what is the line of demarcation between the body and pylorus? Along the lesser curvature, towards the lower end, there is the most dependent part of the lesser curvature. Also, it is a notch here called incisura angularis. And if I draw a line from the incisura angularis up to the greater curvature, this line, beyond that line is the pyloric part. Then comes to the fundus once again. This fundus, it is actually extending above the costal cartilage, left costal cartilage. And this fundus, it contains air. The question may arise, how much air is normally present in this fundus? About 30 to 50 ml maximum, the air is collected in this fundus. When you are taking an X-ray of this region, this area looks black because the air looks black in the X-ray because it is translucent. Air is translucent, and this amount of air, it is always present whether the stomach is empty or it is full, but the air must be present. But the air may accumulate more, much more. When it occurs, then it may press on the diaphragm, and above diaphragm is the heart, apex of the heart is there. So there may be cardiac distress because of excessive accumulation of air in the fundic part of the stomach. And how the air is collected here? We are not any pushing air inside the stomach. Then how it is collected in the fundus? The answer is very simple. When you are swallowing or eating something, so with the food, some amount of air also enters into the stomach. And the air, because of its physical property, it floats upwards and it is collected in this fundic part. Up to this is the body and this part is the pylorus. Pylorus again having three parts: pyloric antrum, then pyloric canal and the pylorus or pyloric sphincter. Antrum means the dilated part. Here is a pyloric antrum, means dilated part. There may be a notch on the greater curvature here. So in between these two is a pyloric antrum. In between these two means I have drawn a line from the incisura angularis to the greater curvature, and here is another notch that is medial to this. That notch is the intermediate notch or intermediate sulcus. So between these two is the parodic antrum. Then parodic canal starts, which is about 1 to 2 centimeter long. Then parodic sphincter is there, which is thick, because this parodic sphincter, it is anatomically present. It is formed by the longitudinal muscle fibers, mainly by the circular muscle fibers. But this type of sphincter is not present around the cardiac orifice. But here is a physiological sphincter is there, so that the food cannot regurgitate into the esophagus. This sphincter, it prevents the regurgitation of food from the stomach into the esophagus in normal condition. But here always you will get the sphincter, so it is an anatomical sphincter. So this is physiological, this is anatomical. Along the lesser curvature, you can see one ligament is there, it attached. This ligament is called the omentum, and it is the lesser omentum because it is attached to the lesser curvature. So the ligament is lesser omentum, and this lesser omentum, it attached along the lesser curvature up to the first part of duodenum, and it is going upwards up to the liver. Liver is here. Liver is here. So towards the liver, it is called stomach to liver. So gastrohepatic ligament. So gastrohepatic ligament or lesser omentum, they are synonymous. But on the greater curvature, it is long curvature, here also you can get one ligament or one omentum. That omentum is called the greater omentum. And this greater omentum, it extends up to the transverse colon. So the other name for the greater omentum should be the gastrocolic ligament. And from the fundus, this ligament, it is going towards the spleen. So gastrosplenic ligament, gastrosplenic, and from the upper part, close to the cardiac notch, one ligament extends from this area to the diaphragm, which is above the stomach. So gastrophrenic ligament. So gastrophrenic, gastrosplenic, and the larger part is the greater omentum or gastrocolic ligament. And all these ligaments, they are nothing but the peritoneal folds. So all these are the false ligaments. We sometimes ask what do you mean by false ligament and what do you mean by true ligaments. False ligament means the ligaments which are formed by the fold of peritoneum, and true ligament means the ligaments which are formed by the condensation of some connective tissue or is formed due to some embryological remnant. That part I will discuss during other viscera like liver or uterus, where we will get both the true ligament and false ligament. But in the stomach, all the ligaments are false ligament because they are formed by the peritoneal folds. What is the maximum capacity of the stomach? The maximum capacity of the stomach during birth, it is very little, only 20 to 30 ml. But in adult, it is about 1000 to 1500 milliliter or ml is the maximum capacity of the stomach. I think it will be clear to you to understand the different important basic things of the stomach. So thank you very much.